I can hear him talking. What is he saying? Or actually, we're live now, so
Uh,
not sure if it can be discussed too
no.
much.
Hi!
Hello, everybody.
Back at it.
We are here. I apologize for the delay, guys. We'll take a look here.
Lizards happen.
Yeah, I was telling Mason my wife, we had a lizard randomly crawl in our room, which has never happened, and I had to Crocodile Dundee that thing out of there. So
A little exterminate. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Let me share the link real quick and see if people want to hop in. Give me just a moment. After hours.
So what's the feeling here, Pete? What are we doing?
We're just hanging out, man. I feel like this is a little
just
bit
whatever. We're doing whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
So we'll sorry, I was just typing that out there. Probably should have done that before we went live, but
well, here we are.
That's right. So yeah, sorry, I can't get over Oak's conversation he's having right now.
Same.
So I'm curious talking about, kind of one of the last things, and one of the questions I wanted to get to from Basic Trainer was talking about TCGs. Which ones do we wish would come up?
Oh, yeah,
and kind of blow up? I did want to get that question answered in this one, probably one of the first ones actually, from the last stream that we just finished. So do you have an answer for that? Do you have a preference? Is there an under the radar TCG that Mason is about?
Not really in particular. Probably if I had to choose one, probably Dragon Ball Super, just because it's so cool and just low key, kind of awesome. But yeah, I wish Super was like a bigger deal, even just like in a collecting capacity. That'd be cool.
You obviously probably had an idea that I was going to say the same thing. I think that I don't know if wishing on the come up. I think that it really is on its way. I think that their promotional videos for their new sets are extremely cheesy and a little bit over the top, but I think that's just Bandai doing Bandai things.
That is definitely Bandai doing Bandai things, yes.
Yeah, and where they have Japanese commentary as well as English commentary and the same release trailers. It's a bit all over the place, and they spend a lot of time talking about the playability, the new rules that every single set gets. It's a bit complex, I think, for most people. I mean, even myself, and you and I have talked about this when I first started getting into Dragon Ball and trying to understand what to collect. I think was one of the hardest hurdles I had to get over. I was like, there's so many different versions of cards. There's so many things I should look for that this looks rare, but it's actually not. And it took me a good while of researching on the Windows XP website that Dragon Ball has for their card game to actually be able to understand, what to actually go after. But I will say with Realm of the Gods, and I'm sure anybody who's seen me in lives before probably understands or has heard me say this, I think that they really did that set right. And I think that it was definitely a good move on their end to add things like the God Rare and really focus on the SCRs and kind of more of the pendulum swinging more to the collector, I think is really what they did with that. And the new set that's coming out, it seems they're doing the same thing. There's more SCRs, which are harder to pull. For anybody that doesn't know, they do 2 a case normally for those. So pretty hard chases, to go for. And then their God Rare, I think the most recent pull rate that I saw, which there's no official numbers to really go off of, but 10 to 12 cases, there's one. So a pretty crazy, difficult card to pull.
What?
Yeah, it's I for anybody who doesn't know, I bought 2 cases that last set and pulled it, and Mason actually blessed me with the heat. Came in a 4.5 hour stream. Yeah, seriously, 10 minutes left. or he jumps in 10 minutes later. I pulled that God rare, and yeah, one of the most fun openings I've ever done. I love those cards, so I would definitely say the um, uh, Dragon Ball Super is the one that I wish would really like explode, and I think they're on the way. I see a lot of Pokemon people jumping over and buying those cards, and also um, talking about them. They comment on some of the Dragon Ball exclusive like Instagram people that don't have anything to do with Pokemon. So there seems to be a good crossover, and I feel like that's part of like you said in our actual episode, the nostalgia of us being in our 30s. We grew up with Pokemon and Dragon Ball. I mean, that's kind of like what was around at least.
Yep.
So it's an easier, I guess, transition to that IP versus anything else because a lot of people grew up with it and it's so popular. So I would say that, and I don't know if Basic Trainer's in here, but that if he watches this back or anything, that was a really, really great question to ask because I like hearing about the other TCGs that people do. Let's see here. PokeFresh. Never had a chance to speak with you in terms of Pokemon. What do you like? What do you collect? So I am really, really big into Japanese promos and also Pokemon World Championship cards, Tropical Winds, Tropical Tidal Waves, mainly Tropical Winds. I prefer those arts better or more, but really exclusive Japanese promos. I mean, if you see anything on like my Instagram, eBay, or anything, that's pretty much everything that I have. I think I looked back maybe like 3 months ago, and I want to say out of like the 20 slabs that I was like looking over, I think like 18 of them were Japanese, which was not on purpose. It's just that, kind of like we talked about before, there's no English exclusive promos really. So I always try to collect things that have a very, usually some kind of challenge or difficulty to acquire. I like the backstory of a card. JR Stamp Rally promos, I shill those for the most part all day. From 97 specifically, I love those. The old ANA Airlines, Pikachu with the plane behind it. Like I love those because you had to fly on a flight for like 2 or 3 months and they actually gave it to you with the boarding pass. Just really cool stuff like that. I don't really collect set cards for the most part. There's a couple cool ones out there, but not they don't really scratch my itch, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Good question though, man. Thank you. Professor Oak, virtual hug. He's in deep. He's running his Discord like a business right now. What about you, Mason? I know you've talked about starting a Arcanine collection. Have you ever, I guess, in the history of say running the business, probably at least once, but have you bought something that did not become inventory eventually?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I have thought about doing an Arcanine collection for sure. But even that, I don't know how like heavy I would even go into it. It's if something walked in and I didn't have it in the binder, I'd probably, but I wouldn't probably pursue anything crazy or anything like that. I don't know. I enjoy the buying and selling aspect of it, I guess, and that is fun to me more than putting a card in a binder and letting it sit.
I completely agree with you. A personal collection is difficult for me to say this will never become inventory. I enjoy. I think you talked about the chase.
Sure. Yeah.
Earlier, and that's what I enjoy. I enjoy trying to find things that are very, very difficult to find, and there's not that many out there. Just being able to actually acquire it and kind of check that box. The achievement of it, I think, it sits more with me than the actual card itself. I do have an in-game card, like meaning that if I ever acquired that card, like I'd never buy anything that would ever be for personal or even like be something that I would look for at that point. But yeah, I completely agree. I've always respected the binder collectors, and I've said that time and time again that they are the truest collectors in my opinion. They don't grade them; they just throw them in a binder. They do master sets or whatever it is, and that's always something that I've never had the patience nor the desire to pursue, from my experience.
Yeah, I've never had like you said, the desire to have a binder collection of any kind. I just don't. I don't have like a lot of collectible things. And the things I do have, both of those things up there. But do those even count? I mean, let's be real. There are a couple things that I do, or maybe I would want to buy. Like, I really like the stained glass birds promo, and I think that's going to do really well down the road. Like, I'm talking like forever down the road. So, I thought about maybe slowly grabbing some of those for super cheap, or a couple of the tag teams. I still love tag teams. I think they're the best cards and the best looking art, and was just a really fun time just to be playing and collect, in a business and selling. So that was really cool and a lot of fun, and I really love those cards as well. So maybe if I did some tag teams, maybe a tag team collection or something like that, that'd be cool. But yeah, other than that, I really don't have a desire for a huge collectible scene, I guess,
Absolutely. Oak, I need some props here. The second you entered that lobby, bam, I've become a StreamYard pro now. I'm ready to go.
I love it. Sorry, I got inundated with questions for a second there on the BGS stream from last night. Everyone is losing their minds purely because, I can't have it live anymore. I had to rip it down for a minute. So
I'm just happy that I got to watch it and enjoy it and ask questions, and even in the Discord,
glad.
do that after the fact. But I did mention that I felt like it was teetering on the almost the NBA level of like talking about I won't go into crazy detail because I don't think it's probably good for us to even vocalize all of this. But yeah, going into the specifics of that company and how they do their business, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, we got some juice there, and I don't think he was the poorer. I don't think he should have been given that juice. Honestly, I mean,
the stamper got stamped.
I pushed. You gave those questions, and I said I'm going to ask them. I felt like I had an obligation to like ask the things that I wanted to know too. Like you were asking stuff that like I wanted to ask. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to ask. Like, when the hell am I ever going to get an opportunity to interview someone that works at BGS?
It's almost like you're not supposed to. It's almost like that's not supposed to be a thing,
right? Like, probably shouldn't be happening. And yeah, I've had to delete it now because of the messages that I got about it. But yeah,
good time though. Come on,
it was good. It was wild. Like there was like an energy I've never felt before in a live stream. It was, I mean, Peak, you were right there. You were in the heart of it. I was definitely asking your questions there. It was super interesting.
As much as you wanted to use me to ask the questions you wanted to, I wanted to use your stream in order to get the questions answered, because that was one of those things that I think I even said it in the Discord voice, like afterward. I was like, guys, I never get a chance to you never get to talk to these people, and you never get to talk to people who are going to actually be open and say, whether that's a good idea or not. It's like, let's take advantage of this and let's get some questions answered. And hopefully all works out. With
he was a nice guy too, which was interesting. He was nice. He was honest. I mean, he opened up. There were a couple of times he didn't even know the answer, and he said, "Look, I don't know the answer. I'll write it down on a post-it note, kind of thing, on a sticky note." But he really tried to answer the questions, and yeah, BGS did not like him answering the questions. So
yeah, it was definitely. I mean, it makes sense. That's why I threw out the questions. I was like, I'm not even going to hold back on these. Like,
you did not hold back.
Let's talk about. No. I mean, I wanted to know business stuff. I wanted to know what they're talking about. I mean, if I was like a PSA guy, I'm like, I just got a lot of information out of this. But one thing, we'll change the subject because I mean that's a very spicy topic.
Pick is going to do the Pokenomics Zoom call next month to go over everything that the dude talked about.
Here's my notes. I've got the transcript. So PokeFresh, you said, as far as Japanese cards concerned, what are your thoughts on Japanese set cards? Are they worth a buy or worthless other than Charizard? I think that those, look who it is.
Swami.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Swame.
What's going on, buddy?
I might be finishing up a game of TFT.
Okay.
He's like, I'm just here to watch and click some keys.
It's fine. I mean,
so this kid, I mean, do you think? Never mind.
So we're talking about Japanese set cards from PokeFresh. We just redo the same stream that Oak did yesterday or the day before. So my thoughts on Japanese set cards. Yes, I think there's definitely a lot of those that are worth buying for sure. I don't think it's just Charizard. I think they are criminally undervalued to their English counterparts on a lot
criminally undervalued.
Criminally, it's wild to see the difference in a PSA 10 Japanese card, a set card versus a English version. I mean, it's nuts. But again, I don't really focus a lot on set cards. One of the other guys here probably would be able to speak to it a little bit better than I would. But personally, from the outside looking in, just from buying different things, I would say that, yeah, there's a lot of Japanese set cards that, especially if you really enjoy an art and you want a graded, like a gem mint card, if you can get the Japanese version for 40% less, sometimes 50% less, I don't know. I mean, I would buy it all day. I don't know if you guys have any.
Worthless. I mean, I think they're almost invaluable for collectors. Like if you want to collect an art and that's all you really care about, I mean, they're invaluable because you can get the art on the cheap. All right. Now,
not surprising from DNA. This man loves his Japanese crystals.
Those training galleries, the modern training galleries in Japanese, I mean, people love them. Japanese. That seems to be a new revelation in the Japanese era of cards. It seems to be, especially graded. That when we're talking about tens, that kind of stuff, I've definitely seen a wild jump in price point there. The original question was talking about, like, is it even worth buying other than a Charizard? Right now, some of the trainer gallery stuff in Japanese, abso-freaking-lutely, like, people are jumping on them. They're going crazy for them.
Especially the ones that we have not gotten in English.
Yes.
And the alternate arts that we have not gotten in English as well also are.
Yes, and that is something I should have asterisked myself. If it's only in Japanese, all day. I mean, those are what I said about pricing is definitely not going to be accurate. But when it comes to same art, same set, just English Japanese version, like, yeah, I think there's some good pickups there. But yeah, if you can get exclusive arts, I mean, that's like you asked that question earlier in the stream. I definitely want to be able to focus on those exclusive either promos or maybe alt arts, like Mason said. I mean, those are they're cool, they're unique, and we don't really have a lot of that in English.
Whoa!
And the myth, the legend.
Now we're going.
Jake.
Now it's getting serious. Now it's a party.
Set my timer for 4 a.m. so we can stop our stream. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, Jake? I appreciate you jumping on, dude.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Talking about some Japanese set cards.
Your favorites. Japanese modern set cards.
Sweet.
Sweet.
He just disconnects immediately. That'd be great.
All right, later.
Yeah.
I'll drop a hot take, maybe, or maybe just a unique thought that I was going to do in a video, but I guess I can just spill the beans here. I think there's rumors going around, rumor come out that they're trying to sync up the Japanese and English sets to being released at the same times, or at least close to the same times. And I think that if that had any merit to it, that a big part of that is because so much of that Japanese product is going to the US and other places and not staying in Japan, and really ruining the market for the local Japanese players and collectors. So if they were going to do such a thing, that definitely has some reasoning behind it as to why they would push for that.
So say that again. They're not going to print more and send Japanese to the U.S. They're just going to take some from Japan. And
I'm saying that they're talking about syncing up the English and the Japanese sets so that they release at the same time, so that the big mad rush for people that are getting into the Japanese stuff because it's the fresh new set and the first of to grade and all that crap. If they release at the same time, there wouldn't be such demand on the Japanese side.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because
So,
they've been
and that it's a huge issue for the players and people in Japan that are standing in line for hours at Pokemon centers trying to get cards because a vast majority of that product is not even going from Pokemon Japan to the US. It's going from Pokemon Japan to distributors in Japan. The distributors cannot sell out of the country. That's why all the Japanese boxes say for Japan sales only. I don't know why that is, but it's what they say on them. So they have to go through distribution to go to the stores to go through, and then they get middleman to the US. So there's already also a big, huge markup to the US as well for that stuff. So, and that could be also a big contributing factor to the set cards having a huge premium as well, is because there's such a heavy tax on them to get overseas.
We'll talk about, debilitating to the 4 or 5 parties involved in that hierarchy of who gets the cards and who actually makes it happen. Just from the lack of, like you said, demand, that definitely paints it a lot more of what you were saying. It's if there's not as much demand because it comes out at the same time, and arguably most people here collect English cards. Some obviously want the Japan, arts first because they want to either be first to market or they just want the set. They just can't wait. Yeah, sure. That would definitely eat into a ton of people who are, I guess, acquiring those cards for, the West. I could definitely see that impacting it in a pretty negative way.
Yeah, because even, they have their own exclusive printers in Japan as well. And it's not like they can export that product and print it in the US.
It is genius though, because they are fixing their problem, right? Because
it's an ongoing issue too. Worlds this year there's a lot of cards that are outright banned, not because they're, broken or anything like that. It's just Japan has them and English does not. So there's entire swaths of cards that can't even be played by Japanese players because they don't exist in English. So it's been an ongoing issue. But I think that has less of an impact than the shortage of cards in Japan right now. I think that.
Well, I've been watching OKJ Love, and that is something for about it. Huh?
I love that dude. He's good.
Yeah, he is a good dude. And he has been pointing out that they've been having trouble with pricing on singles. He's like, look at these price, so clearly it's been kind of jacked up for a while, but that would fix probably or significantly help. You know what I mean? To bring single prices down on Japanese cards. And if they're focused on just making TFT moves, no big deal. If they're focused on getting, this game's almost over. Jeez. If they're focused on getting the single prices down, I think that'll work. I think that really will work.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. Is definitely because why would you sell it in Japan when you could hike up the prices to the US, add a little bit on the shipping costs as well, maybe along the way, and have a way more larger market pool. Absolutely.
So one thing, this isn't related to that, but I was just thinking about it since Swami, you jumped in. One of the questions that Mason and I answered when we first jumped in this live stream was from Basic. It was from the Collector Showcase episode. He said, what TCG would you like to see come up next? Actually have a boom And I feel like with you, I almost put like you and Radar like almost fairly similar. Like you guys find like these very niche, or maybe not niche, but you have a variety of things that you've collected and like had over time. Is there a TCG that you wish you would see, I guess, more exposure to, or something like that? Mason and I both said Dragon Ball, so I'm curious what yours would be.
Yeah, I think Weiss is doing good. I can't say Weiss because I think they're doing fine. I think Dragon Ball Super's doing fine. I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, I think because of the new TV show or movie, I've heard Lord of the Rings like 4 times this week.
I heard that a lot last week. Yeah.
Yeah, people looking into old Lord of the Rings stuff. No, everything's doing good. Yu-Gi-Oh's got their new game. You can't get bored out there. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting bored, then you aren't looking around.
Yeah, you're not. I was gonna say you're not looking. Especially, one thing, and you guys might have noticed this too, is PSA TCG card or whatever their new Instagram is. I guess just to showcase cards. I'll give them props. They've actually started posting like a lot of different TCGs, like not just sports. I mean, they're really doing a really good job of putting like a mixed bag of stuff out there. Like I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh cards I've never seen before. I've seen some of the Dragon Ball trophies that have been posted. Some other stuff that I just didn't even know about. Some Whis cards.
Our boys have gotten some stuff posted by PSA.
Oh, really?
Retro, they've got some cool cards that PSA is like, hey, check this out, and they've been like, Uno's been grading Weiss. I think Retro had a DBZ Bandai card get shown.
I didn't know that was them. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. No, I'm having a blast. I mean, I've been pretty focused on Marvel for a long time. I've got like little side collections going on, like old Bandai Ghost in the Shell, rare pulls that I would like to get a set in high grade. Nothing, just for fun. Yeah, Ghost in the Shell, I think they've had multiple movies come out. I'm collecting that set just because of the first movie. Big, it was like the main influence for The Matrix. It was really too bad. The Cowboy Bebop boxes, I don't know when they exploded in value. I don't know if they're selling at these prices. They were like $75 shipped 6 months ago, and I thought the TV show was terrible, so I heard it was terrible. I didn't watch it, so I didn't worry about picking any boxes up. And
I watched some clips.
$250 a box. So,
yeah.
I only want like 3 cards graded out of there. The Bang promo, I think it's a box topper. Honky Tonk. I wonder if I find it, can I pull it up? Yeah, I can share my screen.
I think so. Yeah, it should be allowed. So what's funny?
I want to change my answer.
Okay, let's hear it.
Since we already did you already have Dragon Ball pinned down.
And the Zelda interplay that Pokefresh threw up there.
Well, yeah,
I'll show that all day too, for obvious reasons.
I am actually surprised that with the remake here recently and all this stuff that Final Fantasy has been putting out, that this TCG hasn't caught any extra heat off of that. I am genuinely surprised that they did not blow up when all that stuff went down. And still, when they have all the different series going on.
I'm just watching Oak's head slowly turn sideways as Swami pulls up this Cowboy Bebop waifu. It's pretty awesome.
You see how it's even holofoil?
Yeah.
Very high quality. I really, all I want is this card, Honky Tonk Woman, and then I think it's a box topper. I would like this card. I'm just gonna go. Well, it's this card, and it's got this artwork on it. Says bang on the card, but yeah, no, just like little side. How do I stop sharing?
Whoops.
Stop screen. Yeah, little side stuff.
There you go. Yeah, so I've watched clips of Cowboy Bebop. I never really like got super into the show, but I love Steve Bloom. I think that dude has like one of the best voices ever. Yeah. I think he's the guy I'm assuming the main character is Cowboy Bebop. I really don't even remember, but or Bang. I'm not sure. That looked familiar, but the guy who voiced the main character in that show, Steve Bloom, has one of the best natural voice actor voices I've ever heard. Like
it's a sexy voice.
Oh, dude, it's like
back.
It's
like Vino, but not as good.
Yeah, he did Tom from Toonami. If anybody remembers that, way back in the day, the little robot who introduced all the shows. He was the voice of Tom. He's done a lot of stuff, a lot of video games. I think he was the main guy in Gears of War or something. Maybe I can't remember. But yeah, he's an awesome voice actor. So that's the only real nostalgia. I would love an auto card for his character, like from him, but I don't have enough attachment to it, to see it. But that's good. And like you said, Mason, with Final Fantasy, I saw like a little bit of a surge of people talking about it, but I haven't seen anything that's really shown that like people are just running to it and posting about it as much. I think there was like a week where I saw a lot of it and then it kind of died down, but I could be wrong.
It was kind of unfortunate with Final Fantasy on the secondary market side because apparently they were like PSA was grading non-Opus 1 as Opus 1, and people were there was some kind of community disruption. People were kind of upset because they were grading these non-first edition Opus 1 cards, but other than that, I love the Final Fantasy cards. That Riku, there's one Riku that I have to have. I mean, it's a great artwork. I'll probably pull it up here.
Yeah, I mean, I really just like the entire the different styles and like the chibi form, all that. They just run the gamut on all of the art styles throughout all of Final Fantasy, and it's really cool to see it all like put together in the TCG. I think a lot of the stuff looks really cool.
So like for me, Mason,
yeah,
I look at Final Fantasy, like look at this. Somebody take a look at this.
Somebody
take a look at this. Let me show you.
Just look at it.
Would you just look at this?
Somebody take a look at this.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like the hollow pattern a lot.
Yeah, the hollow pattern. This is a great artwork. There's another great artwork. I just think it's great. Final Fantasy X was like, I don't know why, but it was like a revolution for me. Like I loved that game. Yeah.
There may still be some time again for the nostalgia to kick in for Final Fantasy. Maybe it'll pop off here the next couple years, maybe. But yeah, like I'm surprised that there's not more people just collecting it casually.
So I look at that's what I was gonna say. It's been a long day, not a lot of sleep last night. So I look at Final Fantasy as like a fun thing that I'm not gonna buy a box, but I will try to get some of the cards. How do you look at it? Because I mean, you look at it in a completely different way than I look at it.
I look at it as an unprofitable TCG to sell because the boxes are so damn expensive. And they very, very often will crash if there's not something super hype in that box. That they will crash to below distribution prices. They are very expensive because Square Enix produces them. Like Square Enix, makes these cards. Yes, they are not made by another company. Square Enix is the card manufacturer for these.
One IP that I found cards for, I say found, it's so difficult to find like information, card lists, things like that, are Resident Evil cards. They actually had some from like 1994 or something like that. And I remember I went on a rampage trying to like research them, find the chases, and there's some for sale on eBay. And I tried to find a sealed box somewhere because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. Like I get past like all the movies and all that, but I read like all the book series. Like I'm big into zombies anyway, but Resident Evil specifically has such a cool lore to me. I'm surprised that there hasn't been like something more recent for that, because it seems like they throw everything else at the wall, especially with like the terrible movies and
Definitely.
the boulder punching video games. It's like, why not just give us like a card game? You know what I mean? I just feel like that would be.
Why did the Mortal Kombat movies suck?
Except for the Australian guy. The Australian guy in that movie, I can't remember his character name, was amazing and super funny. Like one of the funniest characters I've seen in one of those type of movies. I wish I could remember his name.
Are there any new like what's that UFS Ultimate Fighting System Street Fighter cards? Do you know, Mason?
Yeah, UFS is Jasco Games. They make the My Hero game. The My Hero Academia game is actually they say it's an upgraded system, but it's basically UFS, same mechanic wise kind of thing. It's supposed to be a standalone thing, but yeah, all that stuff was under that same umbrella by Jasco.
Have you seen any excitement on One Piece at all? Being that it's their first English release they're doing. I saw the packs that came out. I think it was like Anime Con or something like that.
Yeah, I think it comes out. It comes out pretty soon, I think.
I think September, if I'm not mistaken. I never watched it. I'm familiar with it, but it seems to be a lot of people excited.
Starter decks.
One Piece
I haven't seen
very
any
popular.
booster boxes.
One Piece has got a lot going on. Yeah, just for reference, a Final Fantasy TCG box is $80 from distribution for me. So very, very often they will just come up and at release be below that $80, unlike Amazon.
Sorry, I was cracking up at Professor Oak.
One Piece is like the most like so Neo Genesis Evangelion. I'm bringing that up because One Piece is so intimidating, right? Neo Genesis Evangelion, you feel like it's one of those IPs that you need to watch. You need to watch the movie at least once, or the show at least once. And I did it. It wasn't intimidating. It was one show. I didn't actually. It was beautiful. The animation was beautiful, but I actually couldn't stand the main characters. I don't deal with depression in that way. I get angry. I don't get pouty. So it was like really annoying. But with like One Piece is also like one of those things you feel like before you die, you have to watch. It has the longest running manga of all time. Right?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, longest running Shonen Jump and most sold manga. And I don't know about like the TV show numbers, but it is like, but it's so intimidating. It's so big, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they're like 1,000 episodes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like Naruto Shippuden. Like Naruto, why watch this? Right? Give me the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's interesting to see because Swami, you and I have talked about this a lot. Is kind of these other IPs that really haven't gotten. I guess it feels like at least recently, like we're starting to see like a fairly big surge of everybody kind of jumping in and like there's with One Piece being first English release, and then like Mason said with the Final Fantasy like coming out and doing all of that. It just seems like a lot of these people that have been, at least from my exposure, like very under the radar. I'm starting to see a lot more of, I guess, kind of a play to say like, all right, it's time. Pokemon and everything has sort of died down. Let's see if people want to look at other things. It seems like there's like you said, like if you don't find anything to buy right now or enjoy, then you're not looking around, because it seems like almost every IP that's almost ever existed has some kind of card game that's either recent or within the last couple of years, whatever it is. I just find it interesting that I've started noticing a lot more people talking about them.
The one IP I would be like full fledged, like all into, would be like if Nickelodeon and Weiss did a mashup for like Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was like my childhood show growing up, and if they made like a Weiss set of ATLA, I'd be like super excited about that.
I haven't looked at. I know there's cards out there, but I don't know if there's anything really official. But I love like One Punch Man. I think that show is so awesome, and I caught that like a year ago, where I finally was just like, I'm just gonna watch this show, and I absolutely loved it. And I feel like somebody sent me like a couple of screenshots of cards, maybe some Japanese ones or something. But that's one, like if there was like an English set that was like an official release, because I read that there's a lot of like third party, or I don't want to call them fan made, but like not official ones that are out. I would definitely jump in on that, because I think the show's cool. I think the characters are awesome. And if they could mirror like how good the animation is in the show with the art on the card, I think I'd be all over that. But what did you, Jake, since you're back in, what did you see at Nationals? I know you posted your the 1940s like Superman stuff. Did you get that while you were at Nationals, or was that stuff that you already had, I guess?
I've had that for like over a year.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard Radar talking about how you were I joked about like you being the encyclopedia for him, because he said there was a lot of old stuff there. And I was like, yeah, Jake's going to bring in the museum brain with it. What was some cool stuff that you saw while you were out there? I guess some of that really old, like vintage stuff that you enjoy.
There's a bunch of sets I really like. I like, so I do like so the two sets I posted on my Instagram were the 1935 Mickey Mouse set that I think is really cool. That's the one that went for like a really high price at the National. It just sold, and I have seen them completely disappear off eBay over the last like 8 months. So the lowest prices on eBay were like over $1,000 for a lot of the cards in like a decent grade, which is, it's gone up a lot. And then at the National, basically it's sold at those prices. Someone bought like a bunch of them, like 30,000 or 20 some $1,000 worth.
Wow.
At those prices. So it was cool to see those. Someone opened a pack, which was insane. Like no one even like to my knowledge, nobody knows how many cards were in a pack. Nobody knew before that.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
I met a guy who's like very, very into these. He like tracks every cert number. He like knows all of the people who have them. He like knows where the different cert numbers are at different places. And he had no idea how many cards were in each pack either. Never seen one open. So these are like Gum Inc. 1935 Disney packs. They just like don't exist. The Superman ones I think are even rare though for the packs. I like have never even seen a pack. But with this stuff, it's like there could be someone with some, and they just for whatever reason, they don't know that the value went up. Most of the people probably own this stuff and have this stuff are not at even close to social media, so they may be completely unaware of any of this and have some of it somewhere in some storage. Who knows?
Until Froggy Flips walks up in their driveway and picks it up. We probably won't see it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I like that 1940 Gum Inc. in general. If you're interested in these types of cards, Gum Inc. is worth looking up because they have a lot of the coolest ones. Some of the most famous ones are like Hearts of War, which is like 1938. That's the one that won best set of the year last year for PSA.
I remember you doing that in the Pokenomics Patreon. I think you did either maybe it was just a question or you were just showing them off. And I remember thinking those were like the coolest. I mean, this sounds terrible, but the Hitler card and all those, like they look so awesome, like documenting like that war and stuff. I thought those were awesome.
And they're really from 1938, 1939, 1940, leading up. And so it's and it was a way for them to circulate, to try to stop war basically, and try to circulate sort of, yeah. And so the first cards ever that depicted actual like gore on them.
Mm-hmm.
So those are cool. And then you've got like, I really like the G-Men another Gum Inc. set.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
You said PSA set of the year. It won an award for that year. Is where do you find that? What did you search?
It was just on PSA's website. They just choose a set every year.
Okay.
Jake, these cards are crazy. There's like Hitler on them, and there's swastikas and tanks, and these cards
They
are
look
wild.
awesome. I can't remember what month that was that you did that stream and you showed them off, but it had to have been 4-5 months ago, something like that, tops. But yeah, I remember seeing those for the first time and thinking like, wow, this is like some pretty real raw art here that they've got going on. But I found them really interesting and fascinating just because obviously the nonfiction story behind them was amazing.
Yeah, they were very, very heavily printed. You can find a lot of them. It's just getting them in high grade that's difficult. The Uncle Sam, I like some Uncle Sam cards. Like there's a lot of different like war and cool cards. Then you get into like the 50s, into the 60s. You have like some of the most famous sets like top Civil War cards. Probably a number of our parents collected those or would know about them if you asked them because they were very popular. And like my girlfriend's father, I found him like a set that was like his childhood. He's loved that, so found him one.
That is how you get in with the with the in-laws for sure.
Yeah.
What's funny is I bought my dad it was like a PSA 8 or 9 John Wayne slab because my dad like loved John Wayne his whole life and was like he was just the man, for so long. And I found one. I can't remember what it was like a cartoony looking one because I found it on PWCC and I was like, I'll buy this for $50 for him. It'll be a good birthday gift. And it's a specific name of that style of art that they did back then. But yeah, kind of a similar thing. It's like, when I gave it to him and he was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Because it was like from 1974 or something like that. And actually what inspired me to buy that was after you went over those like World War II era cards. Because I never had even thought about to look at like PWCC sort by oldest, and just kind of see the stuff that's out there.
I mean, I'm into like Revolutionary War playing cards and stuff like that too. Stuff that's like multiple hundreds of years old. And I talk to I go to like Brimfield and different conventions and I talk to like the 60-year-olds about like how rare each thing is and like how many they've seen in their life and just try to get like the history and as much knowledge as I can on I'm just interested in all that stuff. And I love talking to these guys. I just love stuff who are super passionate about what they do. So it's just like I can like talk to these guys for like an hour. But the key card, if people, because I see people are interested, the coolest card in my opinion is called the Frightful Cost of War from the Horrors of War set. That card is sick, I think. And then the Nazi cards are very, very desirable and expensive. And so is this Frightful Cost of War. So there are two different sets. So the second set is the much harder one to find, and that's the one that has all of the Nazi, the World War II stuff, some of the Russian stuff. But the Frightful Cost of War was the last card in the first set and was meant to be sort of like the last. Same with the Disney cards from 1935. There's a separate set that's Disney, that's Mickey with the stars, which has the first ever like Charlie Chaplin, like it's Charlie Chaplin and Mickey on a card. Like these are just like insane cards. I can't find them. I offered $18,000 if someone can find one for a PSA 7 quality. So if anyone can find one,
10 people just randomly Googled where to find this card.
Yeah,
I'm sure if you're offering 18, I'm sure you've looked almost everywhere. But
if you could find one, let me know. Yeah, anyone.
You're offering $18,000 for the card or $18,000 finder's fee?
$18,000 for the
God, this guy is like, hey.
You'll find me one that's like $100K and then charge me $18,000.
You gotta. Jake's a soothsayer. He's like getting the stories passed down to him before these people leave us.
So
You gotta write
on
all this
social
stuff
media.
down.
That's my goal. Like I want to create a museum and I want to be able to like have the accurate history of a lot of this stuff. So and a lot of these guys are not on social media, so none of it's recorded. Nobody knows about it. Nobody talks about it. So I
received this from Professor Oak, and it is very cool. I'm going to get a
Look at
frame.
That's cool.
What is that?
This is Spirited Away. So these same, this chick right here, it's Princess Mononoke, but it's the same Studio Ghibli. Very cool, man. Thanks, dude. This is so awesome. I got a spot for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually got it.
Baby shiny.
Yeah, I cracked up at that. Jake, you are forever known now as the baby shiny guru.
Baby shiny.
Every time you talk about stuff,
baby shiny for life.
So
Yeah.
do baby shinies have their own smell, Jake?
oh
We
my
got
God.
one of those questions tonight.
I've got to say, that's got to be the most interesting question I've ever seen asked in a live chat. They were like, the Japanese sets smell different than other sets. And Mason went into the logistics of how, yes, they do. So
I've said that before on a live stream. Yeah, every time I open up Japanese cards, I'm like, why do these smell so weird?
I did just get I just finished my, hold on, in a memento. There was
So
a guy
are there-
who I bought some
Someone
Dragon
sent
Ball
me
cards.
this,
What is
and
that?
I bought from them.
Puppet Master? That's a creepy pack art. dude.
Whatever this is.
That is an
amazing.
Whatever this is, it's scary.
Do you hear like whispers in your ear when it's in the room that you're in? Because that's a very
like,
creepy
I think
face.
the guy who sent me this is like, I think he just like made this.
Is he a friend or is he?
No,
Do you know this guy?
no, I bought a card from him.
Oh,
Whenever
That's
you
amazing.
Should we see
Whenever
what's inside?
are you
Whenever
gonna
you-
open it right now? Oh, I'm
Alright, so we
scared.
got Puppet. It's called Puppet.
Dude,
Here.
here,
I so,
Oh, creepy.
I so
I
wish
never-
you could have. I so wish you would have like told me that beforehand because I could have queued up the
Can you make it
crazy
screen
haunted
bigger?
sounds the second he did it. Yeah. I don't know if he's got a second camera he wants to do, but
No, I mean, but can you just blow up his?
oh
Like,
yeah, I
Go,
think
not the
so.
Brady Bunch
Oh,
style.
Solo layout.
1991.
There you go.
Let's do it, Jake.
This is the creepiest pack I've ever seen in my life.
I'm waiting to hear the Jeff Dunham sounds whenever you opened it up.
We got a Puppet
Dude.
Master 2020 convention promo pack.
Imagine the characters in that convention.
Is there gonna be like poison in this? Like
There's a white powder.
Spring-loaded snake inside.
yeah.
Oh, it's
Spring-
awful.
Okay.
So
just
bad.
I just imagine Jake walking at that convention and just being like, anybody collect Mickey Mouse or
What's going on in there,
open it? Does it smell?
Jake? What's going on?
Okay. All right. Puppet Master.
Can we show it, or is it just
Okay.
creepy?
Okay.
Here's
I
the
probably
first
wouldn't like live through that because you don't know what the cards are.
one.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't pull a
Uh,
radar. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Oh my god.
This seems to be the main guy.
What's on the
Jesus
back? What's on?
Christ.
Is there like stats or what's on the back?
This seems to be the main guy. Let's see.
Stats.
What's
You don't call the
stats? Okay.
you don't call this the chase. You call it the run because you are not going to.
This is a good looking fella.
Oh,
That looks like the dude from Beetlejuice, right there. Or not Beetlejuice, the Mario and Luigi movie.
okay.
So retrograded saying that that's a movie.
Oh, is
Oh
it?
my god.
1991
It's a
Full
good looking,
Moon features Puppet Master 3, 3 horror movie trading card packs.
good looking fella.
How freaking weird!
Oh, that's it. So it looks like the hit was actually we got the Puppet Master personality card.
Okay.
So
Creepy.
we'll grade that. This is a red. So this is out of 5. Actually, it's out of 1. It's out of 1. You can see right there. It says
Yeah.
1. Out of
The-
1. One.
There it
I
is.
just need to add a little 1.
First one ever printed. Yeah.
The cover of
And
the
then-
movie is like it's like embroidered in like Nazi regime type
Look
stuff.
at this.
So
Oh, it's lenticular.
That's
Well,
cool.
Yo.
Except, hey, Jake,
This
put it
no
in the
joke.
museum at the entrance, or when you walk down a hallway and people just are like, "I think that card's staring at me."
Yeah, this is really terrible, terrifying, and horrible. A
Here's
nightmare
a creepy
situation.
looking card actually.
Okay,
The light's all weird. Hold on. See if you guys can
I did
see
look.
that a bit better.
I did look
It's
for a
the,
long time.
What is
Jeez,
that?
Or
It's cryptic. It's the card I wanted, a
Oh.
Swolepoke's riddle box.
Oof.
It's actually super cool. 66 boxes, I think, out of these riddles
What's
that
this
they came
from?
out with. Cryptic. So when this Swolepoke did it's called a riddle box. So the language is actually the creator of the game made this language up, and he sent out 66 riddle boxes to like creators, content people, and yeah, so you have to like, apparently there's like a whole deciphering the language that's still going on to figure out like what the text says, but they're alt arts for some of the set cards. But I think these boxes go for like $3,000 or $4,000. So I wanted on a Whatnot.
Holy crap!
A Whatnot
3 or 4
stream.
grand?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's one of those like, you know, it's, I don't even think they've really launched yet, but I like the art.
How much do these Puppet Master packs go for? What did you guys just do to me? Is that like
it's like you can get them for $8.98 free shipping.
$8.98. Oh, I just wasted $8.98
for $3 for 3
You
packs.
should have thrown out some ridiculous price, Swami.
I don't open packs that expensive, fellas. That's a waste.
You should have just said some ridiculous price so Jake has to go through like the horror of chasing them because the value's there. It's
Jake,
like, I hate these packs, but I gotta get them.
I mean, if you had told me like $20, maybe I would have believed you. Maybe.
Oh, can you ask your buddy to if they grade those? You got
hell yeah.
You got the end, so
I think he's blocked, Mason.
Oh, okay.
It's BGS, so I'm gonna write him a letter just to check.
Yeah.
I bought this Jar Jar 101, and it came today, no sleeve.
Ouch.
What'd you pay for?
And it's
what are
like
you doing?
just disgraceful on a 101, the only one in the world, and the guy just is like, yeah.
How expensive is it?
Envelope?
Just destroying a beautiful card. It's infuriating. I want to send it back to him, but it's the 1 of 1, so I'm just going to keep it.
It's probably what he was like. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and I don't even care. Like, none of that's for any profit. I just want it for my personal collection. But it's so ridiculous. Please, guys, like, leave up your phone. It's really your 1 of 1s. Like, you've ruined the only one ever in the world. Thank you. Like,
you know, and it's like Z
brutal.
That the only first edition Perfect 10 CGC, it's that Drowsy, and big old smudge on the inside. He's like, no big deal. You know, only out of tens of thousands of first editions, this is the only perfect CGC. There's a smudge on the inside. Should we send that out or should we just send it out?
At least there wasn't a hair in it. The amount of slabs that I've seen people post with hairs inside of them is disgusting. I'm like, guys.
Yeah. One of my DBZ cards has a hair in it. It's annoying.
Forever immortalized instead of a Jake slab.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to crack it and get it regraded at some point. I can't figure out how to use Beckett's website. So
let me ask you this.
They've got a website.
One day I'll crack the code of that website and figure out how to submit cards.
Talking about BGS?
I've only been doing this for 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got, DNA?
Did y'all see the Pokemon Network, the Clash of the Blue Sky, the Perfect 10 Rayquaza that you just picked up?
No.
So he just graded, I don't know if he graded it or he bought it, but somebody graded a Perfect 10 Clash of the Blue Sky, which is EX Deoxys in Japanese. They graded a Perfect 10 Gold Star Rayquaza Unlimited. So I wanted to hear y'all's takes on that, is if that card truly is perfect, you know, and it could black label out or get the CGC Perfect 10, which company would y'all grade it with? Which one do you think to bring the additional premium at that point? I would think Beckett personally.
100% black label right now, particularly because CGC has switched to an easier standard.
I'd give it a couple months after Professor Oak's live.
No name dropping. Don't involve me in that. But yeah, I would 100% black label it if I thought it was realistic.
Does the Card Economist have like a black label version, or is like 10 the highest?
They're all black labels.
Do you know? Are they all black label?
Yeah, they're all.
That's a good premium too.
Yeah, for sure.
From a distance, it looks like a Beckett slab. That's the idea.
From a distance.
If you hold it out arm's length, you can't tell.
Fire invest emoji from a distance.
Fire invest. Do it. I did get
TCC, Black Label, Invest.
Oh god.
I finished my because Retrograde was asking this. I finished my Volume 1 Judge promo set, and the guy who sent it to me sent me like so many like.
Wow.
I spent maybe a little over $100 on 2 cards. He sent me like all these random like SRs,
Wow.
which I mean they're not worth much, but like he did that, and he sent me just a random sealed pack of Unison Warrior. I was like, I've never had anybody like shout out Pokey Scout if anybody like finds him on IG, but I'll just crack it. I'll open it. I don't care.
Right now,
Like,
we're gonna do it.
good. Why not?
Let's
Hell
go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I send freebies with every sale that I do. I have a bunch of DBZ lenticular cards, so I'll ship out like DBZ and lenticular and some tops cards if someone's buying like a TCG Pokemon card. That way, it kind of like if someone's like, "Hey, this is kind of cool," they can start collecting other stuff.
I should
You're
probably start
still
doing
you're
that.
shilling my DBZ lenticulars. Appreciate you.
All right, let's see. I think the chase is like a. I just looked. The hit that we
Okay.
want
Load up.
is on TCG player. Heroine something is the secret rare, but there is an SR of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So let's see. Hopefully you guys can see this all right. I
Pete,
don't have the other-
highlight yourself. Load up.
Oh, yeah. Good call. StreamYard noob. Sorry, guys. I know. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Cool. Broly. I'm trying to get it in
Pan.
focus for everybody. Pan. Nobody cares about Pan.
There it is. You got great quality.
Baby. Well, we're in 1080p right now on StreamYard, my friends.
Oh, baby.
Feels
Yeah,
good,
you get-
man.
You get that business account, boy.
Look at the 4 Dans.
The 4 Dans.
Calling the MetaZoo ship. Ready to go. Android 16.
Sure.
That guy from Dragon Ball.
Sensu Bean, playable.
Sack of sensu beans.
Most OP bean in the world.
My boy Krillin. Freeze's Call. And
Tower.
waifu for Swami.
Oh, there's another one. Nappa.
Napa know-how.
He's like, look at this.
Oh, Tao is the hollow, right?
What's funny is this is what I'm talking about. This is a common card. Like, it's so crazy. I'm trying to get the camera to zoom in.
It's too shiny.
Not zoom in.
It can't.
They can't
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
cute. I like it.
There
It's
we
pretty
go.
revealing. It's pretty vulgar.
I don't know what I'm looking at, so it's fine.
I
This
need-
is the rare. This is the rare.
I need the
Anapa.
link. Beat that.
What?
To that 550 card. That card printed to 550. I couldn't find it. How to enter.
Oh,
the
you're talking
contest.
about talking about the silver card they're doing. I think that's so cool. By the way, have you guys seen that? I posted it in the Discord earlier. The pure silver. What was that?
Jake's got it.
Jake's got more horror for us.
I was also
Wrestling.
sent this. I was sent this free pack as well. Might as well open it as well. This is something
crack.
I know nothing. What am I looking for, people out there?
You want Alexa Bliss on the right.
821. Wow.
No, you
Wow,
want Randy.
yeah, new. It's brand new. Jeez.
What's
Goldberg.
gonna
Bill
make
Goldberg.
me the money?
John
Ric
Cena.
Flair's last match.
Is Logan Paul in that set?
That'd be sick.
His rookie card.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, he
rookie
did
card with
fairly
the
good.
Pikachu Illustrator.
You want the metal chair?
Okay.
Put the metal chair. You want JR
I thought it was Jason Momoa. That's not Jason Momoa. Okay. That's,
Senzu
Whoa.
chair.
Volta.
Check Walter out.
that's one of
Walter.
those Horrors of War
Walter's a
cards.
good
How bad does it got to be a common card in a wrestling
Ooh,
Common wrestler.
CCG? That's got to be pretty low on the totem pole.
there's a Gaifu.
Oh,
Ooh.
Entrance
I don't know what this
card. Shawn
Is that-
Michaels.
Is that ET? What
That
is that?
looks so amazing. Oh my god, dude.
that's an insert, guys.
Somebody's having a
Oh.
blast.
Oh shoot, man!
Oh.
That's an insert. We're gonna have to check the pack to see what the odds of pulling one of these are.
Dude, that artwork is fire.
It was Shawn
Oh,
Michaels.
Samoa Joe.
Jason Samoa.
Okay. This way.
Over the rope.
Give him the elbow.
And
Yeah.
the autograph. Oh no.
Oh, Jeff Hardy.
Jeff
Nice.
Hardy.
I mean,
Hardy.
You know, he might pass in the somewhat near future. So probably not a
Unnumbered
bad idea to
Jeff
hold on to
Hardy.
that guy.
All right, let's see. The enhances card
There's more.
is not numbered. That's always a good sign. And I already lost the pack in
Cool.
just a mess. So
I just hear like a slab domino pyramid just like go around Jake.
1 in 4 packs to pull a foil board. We did not do that, nor did we pull anything better. So, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't pull the metal chair, so
That's awesome. Swami, so the pure silver card that you're talking about, the Dragon one, it's on premium. I can pull it up. It's premium Bandai.
Swami, can you look it up for me?
Oh,
yeah, hey, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where to find it.
I don't know where to find it. Yeah, dude, pull it up.
So Pikachu's having a giveaway tonight, and you can win these.
Oh,
and the Puppet Master packs.
Oh my goodness!
But you have to pay for shipping. So
you have to guess the chase, guess the best, most creative chase in that pack, and you can't use metal chair.
Yeah, Mason's gonna pay for shipping. Mason volunteered.
Yeah, just
I like
put
it.
down in the comments your favorite.
Your favorite shiny.
Your favorite. Oh yeah, sure, we can do that too.
Your favorite baby shiny in the comments section.
Your favorite shiny wrestler.
Your favorite shiny wrestler? It's got to be Gold Dust. He was shiny.
Your favorite?
Yes.
No, it's the Lucha Libre Pokemon card, obviously.
So
No,
I
Pete-
really like the
Pig
Ultra.
just won.
What?
He just won with Gold Dust.
There you go. 5th anniversary pure silver cards, $1,100. 555 of them made for their 5-year anniversary.
Oh, so you can't win it. You gotta
I love it.
you gotta win the ability
Enter
to
for your
buy it.
chance to buy.
That's it.
Jeez.
And it ends in 2 days. So
It is sick. So is it
Wow.
Yeah.
like the same material, or
What do
is
you
it
mean?
actual?
That's pure silver. If that's what you're asking.
It's pure silver.
It says it right there.
Why would it lie to us?
wait. So you have to pay to enter for a chance to buy? Is that what you're
No,
saying, or
you
you just
enter
enter
to
for a chance to
buy.
buy?
You enter to buy, and they'll randomly give 555 people the opportunity to buy. If you pass up on the purchase opportunity, then they just bump you and put it to somebody else. So this
Okay, I'm
reminds
gonna-
me of like the
about to enter for that
gold
right now.
Pikachu card or whatever they did. Yeah, but oh yeah, there we go. $1,100.
Looks cool.
So this is I think it's an SCR from like one of their older sets that they put this in.
It's not even an original print. What?
I think I don't think they said they changed anything
It's
yet.
a reprint.
Well,
Yeah, it's a
Pokemon-
secret rare.
I
Yeah,
love
from
the
Miraculous Conclusion. The outrage.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's
both did reprints.
$1,100. Give me unique
it's a-
art, please.
900 grams of pure silver, Mason. Do the math. Come on.
I'm not going to. I refuse.
And it's serialized, which is cool. This was the funny one thing I read.
900 grams of pure silver is
fair.
$587.
I love how they put this at the very bottom.
It's
very
fair.
last thing.
You never know.
There is a possibility that this is great, a few more than 555 of this product may be produced, even though they're serialized. We might throw some out there. But yeah,
You think this will do good in the secondary market?
It's super cool.
I think it will be similar to the gold Pikachu they came out with like a few years ago. Not as like huge, but I think if Dragon Ball Super continues to increase in popularity, I think that would be a cool. I mean, either way, it comes in the like, I don't want to call it a trophy case, but a trophy case, and it's a cool display item. And I mean, if I get the chance to buy it, I probably will. Not because I'm trying to shill it, but I just think that's a very unique thing you don't see in too many TCGs. I don't even know if I've seen anybody do it outside of Pokemon, really.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Has one too.
Do they?
Yeah, they got
Okay.
blue eyes.
Exact same thing.
Had me thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube. He's
Speaking of,
he was sending in a Joe Exotic this morning. Get great.
It's all about Pop Leaf. Pop Leaf
speaking of
free, baby.
Speaking of free packs getting sent in the mail, have y'all seen that video on YouTube? The guy who bought something on eBay, and it was like years and years ago, and the guy sent him a free first edition Blue Eyes or LOB pack, and he pulled a Blue Eyes White Dragon first edition.
I did. That was What was the guy's name who pulled that? I remember, it was just some unknown guy, and it was like the first one pulled on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's one of the few pulled on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember that he threw it in with like an extra purchase or something, and then he ends up pulling that. I watched a compilation the other day of like best pulls ever or something in all these like different card games, and my absolute favorites are the ones who pull the Alpha Lotuses, because they're like, it's a Lotus, and they like you can hear them like freaking out in the background, which obviously
like,
they should.
He's shaking.
Oh, dude, yeah, the gloves and they're freaking out. It's the best.
People
open boosters pulled an Alpha Lotus.
Yeah, I can't remember. Does he wear blue gloves? Because this was the guy who was wearing it.
I think he's
it was some company
that's ever pulled one on YouTube.
Oh, really? Okay, then yeah, that was the one that
I mean, it's an unbelievable thing.
Has to move. Yeah, that's so.
No, I think there's 2 or 3 videos of it on YouTube.
Really? Of people pulling Alpha Lotuses, not just Lotuses?
Yeah, Alpha Lotuses.
Wow.
I did see a guy, I guess he had like some kind of, I guess we'd call it a god pack of some like sealed one, and he pulled like a bunch, like a Power 9, like a bunch of like different, more of the high end. He didn't pull a Lotus, but like the Island one, I think that's like $10,000 or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah, I pulled an Island Boy auto.
That made Professor smile.
Yeah,
pulling packs, and I'm on the island, the booster puller.
Honestly, man, with as many, like, I won't say it's a ton, but like with these recent like booster boxes, like we talked about that that sports box that was full of Austin Powers. Like I can't wait for a compilation of like top 5 like worst like fake box openings and like G.I. Joe, Austin Powers. Like I almost unfortunately look forward to whatever the next one is, and I hope it's something like ridiculous. Like I hope it's those Puppet Master packs. They're in one of them or like something like that. Yeah.
Some of the best pulls videos are pretty fun to watch. Like, what was that one? I think it was last year. The dad and the son pulled it might have been 2020, but they pulled the out of 5 or whatever Patrick Mahomes. It was pretty cool. They ended up selling the card for like millions of dollars.
I can't find it, Jake, but I'm pretty sure I've seen 2, maybe 3 videos of people online, because I watched a video of someone talking about how there's a couple different Black Lotuses pulls. It might have been a Ruxin's channel where he was going over like you said you found 3?
There are 3, yeah. So there's one from 2014. Someone was just opening starter decks. The one I didn't hear about, which I'm surprised about, happened in 2021. Someone bought one from Heritage Auctions and opened it. I didn't hear about that one.
What a win. Swami, what was that sports card? Or Jake, you might know this too.
I didn't hear about that. Because the 2014 one, that's easy to lose in the, that's that. And it was, it was still probably, I really have no idea how much it was probably worth back then. A starter deck, maybe 20K, 30K. I don't know. Maybe even less than money.
That's a massive dub.
Still, it's still insane. In 2014, to open up like $20,000 something. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, the what is the sports card that I think it was Going Twice or somebody like gave a Ferrari or something to the people who pulled it. I've seen a couple people pull, I guess maybe that card. It's the triple something. I can't remember. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Triple logo man you're talking about?
Yeah, maybe that's what. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I can't remember what that. I remember him talking about selling that. Yeah, I remember Whatnot making a big deal about it, and then I saw the guys pull it on a Whatnot stream. I wasn't in the stream, but obviously you see the video, and they're just like losing their minds because it's just nuts. But I can't remember what that actually sold for. I remember people were like, "This is going to be a $10 million card or something crazy," and I have no idea what those sales looked like.
I forget. I want to say it was like 4 to 6 million, somewhere in there. I mean, it's still insane.
Yeah, LeBron triple logo, man. That was what it was.
PSA's website's acting up. What's the last sale on an Alpha Black Lotus in a 10?
No idea.
Do we even know?
No, they're all
private
shares now.
I mean, it would make sense with the kind of money those are going for. Like, I'm going to casually throw this at an auction house and pay
any given
20%.
Any given card in Alpha graded is dumb.
Yeah.
A 10 is probably 800,000 maybe now, right? At this moment, I don't know.
One sold, and this is on eBay through PWCC back in January of 21. They're probably, I don't know if there's been a sale since then because it's obviously comes up for sale so infrequently, but it sold for $511,000.
A PSA 10.
Raw?
Yeah, PSA 10.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I figured it'd go for more because I've seen them listed like $1.2, $1 million somewhere in there. But I mean, I guess that might have been going price at the time.
Rush signed 9.5, I think, went for quite a lot too. So I would have expected the PSA 10 to be worth more, but maybe because Christopher Rush passed away and it's the 9.5 with that, who knows?
Yeah.
Is that the one that Pratt consigned or just held or whatever? Like that was signed by Chris Rush? I thought I saw a video of he did a long time ago of that.
Yeah,
it was PSA.
I have no idea what his relationship to that card was, but it was he showed it on his channel.
I thought it was a 10, like a PSA 10. I can't remember if it was a BGS or not, but yeah, I remember seeing that back then. It was like, damn, like how rare is that to get that dude's like auto and to actually like hand him that card with the Swami, like you mentioned, the shaky hand of like, please don't mark on the Lotus, like just go to the very bottom, like, the most fine points you can. But
do you guys remember when people were super anal with these Pokemon pack openers? Like in early, 2020. I just remember all these pack openers were getting yelled at, like, you're not handling the card right. It's like, he's doing all right.
You talking about the unlisted leaf thing?
In my head. Go ahead.
You talking about the unlisted leaf thing?
It was unlisted leaf. There was like a 2-month period where everyone watching was getting so intense about. There was the whole Gary opening up first edition.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
To
be fair,
it was an unlimited box, and he was just like yanking the packs out of a little slit that he.
Oh
my God! And it was fun to watch.
It borderline. I don't think it was purposeful at all, but I could see why people would think that. Like, I mean, it was just like. Get these packs out here.
Some cards were getting like stuck, and he's talking, and he's trying to get it out. I'm like, oh my God, I was hurting inside. I couldn't watch.
Particularly because those are not his cards, So, but he's handled a ton of product, I don't know, whatever. But
he wasn't focused that day.
I remember some
first edition. He's not concerned.
I remember some people saying that in comments on some opening videos, oh my gosh, why aren't you wearing gloves? Like, why are you not wearing gloves? Oh my gosh, can't believe you're touching these expensive cards without gloves. And I remember other people saying, like, why do you want them to wear gloves? Like, that's the worst thing you should do. Like, there was like a huge like conflict between people in chats about wearing gloves. And it really isn't that much of a big deal. But I mean, people know that now. But back then, there were some people that like thought that was necessary. Thought it was.
What got me was someone I don't remember who, but someone was like, they showed how like museum archivists handle like ancient Bibles and ancient documents, and they just wash their hands, and they never wear gloves. And I was like, if they're handling that with no gloves, I'm not wearing gloves. Never again.
Yeah, the oil on the fingers and the static electricity from the card saver, like it'll fray it or something crazy is gonna happen. Like, guys, like these are not they're not that fragile. I think that's the best example, Swami. It's like if you're handling literally like archaeological level Bibles, why do you think that this like first edition dinosaur can't take
but I'll wash my hands multiple times. I really will. Like if I'm handling cards for more than, I don't know, 10, 20, I don't know, but I do wash my hands a lot. It's much easier than having to wipe them with a microfiber later.
I just lick all mine a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then all the cards everybody buys on TCG Player and stuff, that's all.
All these sticky waifus all over the
stick
place.
to my hands, and then I can sleep them easier.
I will say this though. I've seen really big PokeTubers in this. I haven't bought into any pack breaks since I've seen this. I haven't bought into pack break in a long time in general, but like this really upsets me, I guess, is what I was getting at whenever I saw this. People opening up like Neo Destiny, Team Rocket, they pulled a crazy card and they put it in the sleeve by touching their thumb on the hollow foil. That makes me so mad. I'm like, you just pulled a Entei like from Neo that's like a $20,000 in a PSA 10 or 18 grand or whatever it is, and it's like you're just gonna just put your thumb oils all over it. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, it's
Retrograded. I washed my hands before opening Astral Radiance. #attrition.
See?
Yeah,
I think
the only
the-
thing I'm careful about is not touching the Hala.
I think the thing that drives me nuts when I watch box breaks is when they put it in the card saver and they literally beat it like they're knocking on the door as a police officer. It's like that drives. I don't know why. I doubt it does anything to it, but these people, I guess it's just like a pro move. It's like it just bothers me so bad when I see people do it. I'm like, if they keep knocking these cards,
It makes you feel like a baller.
I've done this 1,000 times.
Can confirm. No, I don't know. I have no idea. Stupid.
Well, guys, I think we're kind of hitting the time limit for me, but I so appreciate all you guys jumping in. This is a fun little after hours thing. So after all the episodes that I do, it would be cool if you guys want to eventually hop in, a few of them, that'd be a good time. But this was fun. Thanks, Jeff, for hanging out. I know it's super late.
I can't wait for you to have actual guests on that are cool that I'd want to talk to and hop on.
I've already set the bar so high, man. Everything's just downhill from here. So, you two were awesome.
Thanks, Pete. That was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Always cool to hang out.
Actually, what's funny, I think just about everybody in this room right now is going to be on here at some point. So I'm excited.
Oh?
Yes. Spoiler alert.
Man.
Don't have all the dates finalized, but it's going to be a good time, guys. I'm looking forward to this. So I appreciate you guys. First live stream, or second live stream technically, but first night of live stream. So thank you guys all for jumping in and having a good time with us. I think this was fun. I love talking to cards on Friday nights.
I like how you get drunk on our streams, but you're so professional on your own.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, even my wife was like, "Are you gonna drink during this?" And I was like, "No." I was like, if I'm in charge of like moving people, soloing windows, like it's not a good idea. I'll just have one staring at me.
I give them 2 more episodes before it starts swigging.
Depends on the guest, really. No, I figure I'd take it a little bit more serious. It's just your guys' streams. No, I'm just kidding.
It's facts, though.
Well, usually it's a lot of like, let's hang out, let's talk cards, let's do that. Yeah. I'm just trying to.
How'd it feel? Were you flustered?
No.
Were you trying to keep pace or anything?
Not really. I think the main concern, because obviously all of us on here can talk for hours and hours and hours. So I think I try to keep it like an hour and a half is kind of the max I'm trying to do.
I like that idea.
Because I think it's enough like content for somebody to actually get through in a reasonable amount of time and not have to constantly come back and, watch 15 minutes here, watch 20 minutes here or whatever. Like they can just throw it on like the drive at work or whatever, right? Because I want people to get like the true, like cut the fat, get straight to it. Like I want people to know who the people are that I'm talking to and kind of the backstory and, Mason's barbecue sauce. Like who knew about that?
Yeah, that's a gem.
I really enjoy all the lives. I really just like getting on and talking cards, but I'll say the best Rainy Day and Wolf, before I came on, they had a Word document and it had about they had 3 topics that they wanted to hit on. And then they had kind of like subtopics underneath or ideas to think about. And he sent me that like a week ahead of time. And that was a great live. That was or recording. Maybe I think it was recording at the time, but that was really good. I mean, that helped out a lot. I started doing that when I'd get people on. I started sending them those Word documents because it was like, oh, I know what we're going to talk about next. I mean, we know each other, but I never really actually talked to Rainy Day or Wolf in person. And so you kind of finish the topic and you'd have that awkward moment. Well, you're going to the next topic, baby. No, it was really good.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah. My goal was I just wanted it to be a little bit more structured, but I knew that anybody I talked to and enjoyed talking to were going to want to go more. So I just thought like, I was doing after hours, like, it's not the full episode. It's just kind of a separate like hangout session, like talk our normal lives. I love doing those too. I just thought for like the content ingestion of like the goal of this is to really, again, like I mentioned in that stream, is like paint the picture of like, these are the people that I like really enjoy and respect in the hobby. And I think it paints a really good picture of our community, our hobby. Like, and I think that's such an exciting thing for even the casual or people who don't know some of the people who come on here or will come on here. I just think it's cool for people to find out like who they are, what they're doing. You know, they may have seen the name, but I couldn't tell you how many people have been like, who's that person? Like, who are you talking about? Oh, they're only on Instagram. They don't do YouTube. Well, I don't know who they are. So the goal is to kind of give those people a little bit more light of like, hey, these people are really awesome and well-known in the very, very niche of the hobby, but like just giving people more exposure.
We love their story, right?
Yeah.
We love those stories. Like the guy, I can't remember his name. He was stuck in another country during COVID. Pratt had him on, Radar had him on. I can't remember his name,
Fuji?
but his story, huh?
Mr. Fuji?
No, he just a really interesting collector story. He typically lives in Japan, but I think he got stuck going back and visiting his family or something. But Mr. Fuji wasn't that Polka Knowledge interviewed him?
His friend.
I think he's been on that channel, but I know he's been on Leonhardt's channel. I know he's been on like anybody.
I just like hearing people's stories. It's interesting.
Well, then make sure you like, subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. Just super plug.
Good.
No, but a good example is like, like Swolepoke, for example. Like a lot of people don't know who he is, and he's like one of my favorite people that I talk to in the hobby. So like even having him on, like he has one video on YouTube, which is just him opening the creature box, and it's like people bugged him forever to have a channel, and I don't think he has really that much interest in committing the time to it, which I can definitely understand. But people like that, and Aesthetic Chimp will be on here on the 17th, like I mentioned in the episode. Aesthetic Chimp Cole does a ton of like autograph cards and just like a lot of really cool niche stuff that he picks up, and I think they're going to make a pretty fun pair for an episode to talk about some of that stuff. And then obviously Swolepoke's in. I think he's their VP of marketing or something for Cryptic. So like there's a lot of different cool talking points that'll be fun to touch on, to bring to light that a lot of people don't know about. So that's kind of the goal. It's going to be a good time. So hopefully
you're closing out the series with Logan Paul and the BGS grader, right?
BGS grader.
So you mentioned autos, and I was thinking about that Charizard. I never did find out, did Arita sign that card and then the guy painted the Charizard, or did Arita paint the Charizard?
Arita painted the Charizard.
Okay, now that's pretty cool.
That's a super cool item. That was one of the coolest things I've seen all year. Like, because he wanted it to be shiny. Like, that was his reason or whatever behind it. So, yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that. And they graded it. It wasn't like oh, this is colored. Like, I guess since it's the artist, like, I guess they just let it slide or whatever. But
I think they only graded the auto, right?
I thought they graded the card. I'm pretty sure they graded the card.
They authenticated it, yeah.
Or
they authenticated the card
and then did the auto 10. Yeah.
Graded the auto, yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, such a cool, like, very, very cool piece to have. To take the time to paint the Charizard. Like, that's so awesome. But yeah, cool stuff like that. And the cool thing is like, this is stuff I don't even really have a ton of knowledge on for some of the people that are coming on. Even talking to you, Jake, like about these Mickey Mouse cards, the Superman stuff, like, I mean, just really, really awesome stuff that if I don't know it, like, I just want to share that or give people like a medium to talk about it. Especially if their content is primarily Pokemon and that's what people want to see. Like, it's nice to have like an outlet to talk about yourself or like, kind of maybe a little bit more free form, than what I think some people don't have the luxury of doing. But anyway, it's going to be awesome.
No more Nazis. Us English we have some history.
You said no more accents?
No more Nazis. No more Nazi cards.
Oh, I was like, what? I thought you said accents, and I was like, well, I'm in trouble because here in a few weeks there's going to be a strong one on, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But anyway, guys, again, so appreciate it. Chat, you guys are awesome. Subscribe. We'll be here. I don't know, it's going to be, I'm going to try and do it weekly, but realistically it's going to be every probably couple of weeks, depending on people's schedules. But I will announce that on my Instagram. I'll try and post some stuff. I still have to figure out kind of YouTube stuff a little bit, but anyway, Swami, Jake, DNA, Oak, Mason, thank you guys so much. And I hope everybody has an awesome night in the chat. Thanks guys.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, thanks, man.